So, we're binging Suits because we never watched it when it was a regular series. And it goes from being, well watched, but not a gigantic hit. Ends up on Netflix, and it's been Netflix's number one show for I don't know how long. Alex Zalben's here to straighten us out on all of these things. And Alex, my scientific experiment has proven the following. And you might want to go with this as the lead editor of Lifestyle at FanSided. The downside, Alex, to binging is in a long series, you start feeling rinse and repeat because you're seeing it one after another and as opposed to every week like it originally aired. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of the thing that Netflix has been dealing with pretty much since their inception. They started this binge model in a really big way. I can think back to when I used to do that with DVDs and I was just watching nonstop, but really they pushed it forward as a type of watching. And to your point, they leaned into a model of, okay, we're going to do the season, which is much more manageable versus you were just mentioning Suits. That's a classic 22, 24 episode per season show. You're going 7 or 8 seasons with a lot of TV, and it's nice because you have a lot to watch, but at the same time, it sort of all flattens out at the end of the day.
Yeah, because Mike and Harvey are always going to fight, but they're brothers who love each other, and they're going to come together, but there's always going to be a scandal. They're always on the verge of losing their firm. Lewis is a complete dork who somehow hasn't managed to get fired, who, has a sweetness to him and you want to like him, but then he immediately turns the corner and you want to punch him again. And Donna's the coolest chick on the planet. And at any point, Meghan Markle's going to leave for the prince. So I like the show. It's very addictive, but it's totally junk food.
Yeah. Well, it's two different ways of watching and it's two different ways of writing. The writers' rooms for something like Suits are writing so that, granted, you can stream anything at any point, in the modern world, but they're writing it so that you watch Suits. If you miss an episode, you can jump into the next episode a week later, and you really haven't actually missed anything,
right?
Or at least you can catch up on it in the plot. Versus if you're watching your typical show, they're just hitting the ground running and going and expecting you to catch up. They don't think you're going to pop in with the 4th episode. You're going to watch all 8 to 10 episodes there. So once it does end up on streaming, exactly like you're saying, it gets that repetitive rhythm. But then the same way, Netflix is leading, and other streamers are leading into it sort of being background watching. It's the sort of thing you watch while you're cooking your meals for the week, or
right,
doing other things, or you're scrolling your phone or whatever. So kind of works on that level, though I think the writers and actors would prefer that you pay attention.
So staying with the Netflix, I just finished 3 Body Problem. Strangely, I liked it. I'm not into the sci-fis, but I liked it. But I want to ask you about, I know we're going to talk to you about Ripley and Sugar, but I have to ask you about the other one-named one that debuts tonight, Scoop, with Gillian Anderson. I cannot wait to see this.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch this one yet, but this is a movie that is out. It stars Rufus Sewell as Prince Andrew. Gillian Anderson is in it, I believe, Billy Piper, and it's all about the 2019 BBC interview with Newsnight. So it's a very Frost Nixon, focusing on this very, very small period of time, and I love that. I'm sort of anti-biopics that are follow somebody from birth to death. It's just much. I'd rather focus in on something like this. It's getting pretty good reviews. That is on Netflix now, I believe, so you can check it out right now.
I can't wait to see that. I think she could play anything. I love Gillian Anderson.
She's great.
So good.
Yeah, she's great. Musica.
Musica is a new movie that is on Prime Video. I have seen this one, and I was a big fan of it. It's a very light, fun rom-com. It is created by former YouTuber Rudy Mancuso, who's known for his puppet shows on YouTube, his music on YouTube. He definitely works that into the movie. Also, Camila Mendez, who people probably know from Riverdale. And this is based on Rudy Mancuso has, I'm going to mispronounce this, but a real condition called synesthesia, where he hears things in real life and they become beats and rhythm and music. He uses that to create a fun, no singing, but all dancing, all music rom-com. There's some great musical sequences in there. It's a very charming romantic.
Well, it sounds positive.
There's so much good stuff on right now.
There was one question that came in, and I thought it was a TV question. But a texter texted in and said, I thought it was Shark Week, so I thought it was TV. He said, no, it was just my girl on her period.
Hey. All right, now. You're not following the TikTok trend.
Yeah. No,
of being kind and compassionate.
Not helpful, I don't think.
No.
All right, is he back? Okay, Alex rejoins us now. All right, talk to me about Ripley.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ripley is also on Netflix now, all episodes. This is if you've ever seen the movie Talented Mr. Ripley, or read the novel by Patricia Highsmith, you're familiar with the story. But this is phenomenal. It stars Andrew Scott, who has been in Sherlock. He was also in All of Us Strangers, if you watch that, and Fleabag. And he plays Ripley, who becomes obsessed with a friend of his, played by Johnny Flynn. There's some murder. There's an intrigue. The whole thing is created by Stephen Zaleen, who people might know from The Night Of. It's filmed all in black and white. If you're a fan of noir thrillers in particular, do not miss this. It is a gorgeous-looking show. It's very carefully and intricately paced, but it's all on Netflix now, and it's maybe one of the best shows they've ever put out.
How about Sugar? This is getting a lot of hype. Colin Farrell on Apple TV.
Yeah, I have heard, I haven't had a chance to watch this, but I have heard very mixed things from people I trust. Colin Farrell stars as a detective. This is another noir mystery type thing. It's on Apple TV Plus now, the first 3 of the 8 episodes. And I will say that as far as I've heard, Colin Farrell, great as usual, good, intriguing mystery. But there is a twist that I have heard from reliable friends of mine who have seen the show, entire show in advance, that is so wild that it either completely works or completely destroys the show. So if you're into that sort of thing, you might want to check that out. It also has Amy Ryan, James Cromwell, Anna Gunn, a bunch of other folks. Again, the first 3 episodes of 8 are on Apple TV Plus now, and they'll stream weekly after that.
Got another one, Andrea?
You want me to ask about Mary and George,
Go
which
ahead.
I did see the first episode of.
Andrea, I should tell you, has an irrational dislike for Julianne Moore.
No, it's not that. It's just,
There's just something about Julianne Moore you don't like her.
No, I tried to watch this.
No,
but
you don't like her.
I'm probably in the minority. I'm sure this is very good. And have you seen this yet?
I haven't had a chance to watch this one. It sounds like you would like to see less of Moore,
Yeah.
but if somebody would like to see
Very
more
nice.
of her, thank you. That is on Stars. This actually ran over the pond, I think the entire series a couple of months back. But this is a costume drama about the Countess, a Duke of Buckingham. Jillian Moore, uses her son, played by Nicholas Gilizatane. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry. To seduce the king in order to get further into the court. So it's intriguing, it's twisty, it's costume drama. I will say I agree with you in terms of hearing Julianne Moore doing a costume drama threw me a little bit. I feel like she's very modern.
Yes.
But people seem to like the series. It's definitely getting good reviews. So the first episode is on Stars, and that's going to roll out weekly.
Honestly, I was going to say if maybe like Kate Winslet or someone else had been playing her, maybe, but I just wasn't convinced.
Yeah, she has, as the internet likes to say, a face that has definitely seen an iPhone.
Yes. Completely.
Star Trek Discovery.
This is one of my favorite series. This is finally back after a very long break on Paramount Plus. You can watch the first episode now. It's also the final season of the series, and it is the show that basically brought Star Trek back to TV. It's going to roll out over, I believe, 10 weeks, if I remember correctly, so you can watch it weekly there. And if you've never watched the show before, they do a really good job of getting you right into it. If you're a Star Trek fan, they're in the far future. There's a little bit of continuity that'll be great for Star Trek fans, but mostly it's a fun adventure romp this season as they're trying to solve an intergalactic puzzle to stop some cons. So it's rompy, it's adventure-y. It's more in line with, say, the 2009 Star Trek feature film, the reboot that they did, than old Star Trek, but fans have been very pleased, and I'm fans, and I was very pleased as well.
Yeah, and there is a specific channel on FanSided. You can find all the entertainment channels if you just go to fansided.com if you're driving. Click on About and then go to the entertainment sites. And they're all right there. But one of them is Star Trek Red Shirts Always Die. And every bit of your nerddom will be served right there for you Star Trek fans. Last one, we'll let you fly. Palm Royale.
Palm Royale, that is on Apple TV Plus now. It stars Kristen Wiig. This is a little bit more of a serious turn than you might expect from her. It's also back in 1969 about a woman who is trying to cross the line between the haves and the have-nots in Palm Beach. And it has a great cast. Carol Burnett is in it. Kristen Wiig, as mentioned. Ricky Martin is very much a standout. Laura Dern. So I've heard mixed reviews of this one, but if you're a fan of big stars, if you have Apple TV Plus, you can definitely check out the first couple of episodes.
Yeah, Allison Janney as well, Julia Duffy. Look, if Carol Burnett's in it, you got to watch it. That's all.
Exactly.
Alex Zalben, FanSided.com, entertainment sites. Check it out. He's got it all for you right there, and he never stops working. So,
Thanks for having me on.
Have a great
Thanks,
weekend.
Alex.
See you. Bye. They don't have an Eclipse channel.
No, well, I don't know if, after today, after the 8th, I don't know how much views.
Well, on Christmas where you have that channel, it's just a burning log.
The Yule log.
They should have an Eclipse channel, which just shows you the 4.5 minutes of the eclipse over and over again. Why do I have to invent all the cool stuff?
Why?